Welcome back. We're still talking democracy in Nigeria. Yes, you were talking about the model and the propelling force behind the democratic system in Nigeria.
Yeah.
How is it working out?
Now, you have in Nigeria today and Africa as a continent, where you have the capitalist model propelling the Nigerian economy and governance. And so, if you look at the characteristics and features of this capitalist system of economy, which has to do with the survival of the fittest, competitiveness. And when people wake up in the morning to want to go to work, and you see everybody rushing down to work. And as they're coming back from work, everybody is coming home with different amounts of money. Billions, millions, thousands, some come home with nothing at all. That is a capitalist system of economy. And the government does not in any way interfere in such economy. It is in the hands of the private individuals. And so in that sense, those who are able to grab the resources first create a barrier against the commoners that cannot run that same race.
Are you suggesting we choose a different
run
model?
at the same pace.
The same pace. Now, if you look at where democracy is practiced all over the world, vibrant democracy in Europe and America, you look at, there's something that makes it distinctive from what we do here. And that is welfare system. You cannot run a complex society anywhere in the world without welfareism. It has to be part and parcel of what engineers a society.
So the government creates a buffer zone for those who are not strong enough to...
That is it. Because it is, in fact, if you look at the behavioral science, it is very easy to identify that those who are fit, who can survive it with other antecedents in place. And that's why I say that those who cannot survive it go through other criminal activities to be able to do what? To raise their status.
Okay, Mr. Nigbade, the definition, the primary school definition of the democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Yeah.
Now, here, what a lot of people, I have someone who's tweeting here and he's saying, Festus Akingboyewa, he's saying pertinent questions to ask is, where is Nigeria's democracy where we are not enjoying its dividends? So in other words, the people, government for the people, by the people. Yeah. Government by the people, for the people, and by the people. The question is, the people bring in the government, but is it for them? Are they getting the dividends of it? Are they in any way enjoying it? Are they getting any form of investment from the government they have put in place?
All right, let me start by saying that I still go back to the model. I'm here talking about the model. But I will say to you that taking from what he said, in Nigeria we have the upper class and the lower class. No middle class is destroyed. And there is no economy, there is no government all over the world that has lost the middle class that can talk. What percentage is in the upper class? Maximum 1%. So we're talking about 99% of the people not having that opportunity. And even if you look at the politics, he agreed with me. Playing the politics, it cost this upper class, so-called, so much money. And this lower class themselves sold some rights. You know what I mean by that? If you collect anything to vote anybody and that person is incompetent, you are also liable to whatever inadequacies that comes from that governance. So I'm saying first that thank God Nigeria has become 19 years of unbroken democracy, the longest ever. Nigerians have become more aware. What we had before was, okay, all the elites, don't let me use the elites, all the educated were not involved in it. We were too big to stand on the road in the rain to vote. And what can come out of an election where the so-called, I don't want to use it, our boys, the boys on the street, Bottle Park and the rest, vote. That means that the product of that process can never be for the people. The man who goes into an election, who spends 3 billion naira of his money, needs a minimum of 5 billion naira out of it. That's the truth.
So the electioneering becomes a business.
That's what we have made it to look like. And then you talk about the youths coming to take election or take positions. Where are they going to get the money from? Right now, we have to go through political parties. I'm happy you are going to have something to talk about political parties later. And you cannot remove godfatherism from it. And when you have godfatherism, the man that is sponsoring you, he's not sponsoring you to go there and become his enemy.
Well, Mr. Liquide,
yes.
Would I be wrong to say that more Nigerians are taking interest
yes.
in the political process and are more interested? I mean, people are going to get their voters' cards. They're all preparing to vote in 2019. So with more people showing interest,
yes.
will these processes not become better as we go along because more educated people, as you put it,
yes.
are taking interest?
Well, I like I said, all right, there are two things in there. You should have asked me what kind of model was I looking at. I was looking at a model, democratic model, where you don't go for a second term. You can't do party crossing. You don't move from APC today to PDP tomorrow, back to APC tomorrow, back to PDP next one. It doesn't show that you have what it takes, which is principles, integrity, and it means that you are not even following manifestos and ideologies. Because if you do, you can't move from one to another. And all of a sudden, you are moving back to the other one.
But the party's manifestos are not clear-cut, are they?
Exactly. When we had MPN and UPN, we had clear manifestos. We knew where one was going. We knew where the other one was going.
I've never heard of a Republican becoming a Democrat.
We have.
Does it happen?
It does happen. It does. I mean, the president of America today was formerly a Democrat. He started, but that's another person. You know? But the movement is not based on the fact. You will see that there is a process there that you have to be part of the ideology of that party, which is what is missing here. Now, let somebody tell me what PDP stands for. Let somebody tell me what APC stands for, because that's
six and half a dozen.
Yeah. So it's if that is it, there are only two parties in Nigeria and the rest.
Sorry, let's put. I don't belong to any of the two parties. That is ABGA.
Okay, sorry. Apologies.
Okay, I agree. PDP has failed Nigerians.
That's relative.
APC has failed Nigerians.
That's also relative.
ABGA has not failed.
That's also relative.
And the record is there. Of all the parties in Nigeria, ABGA is the most development-oriented. But before that, please, I'd like to come back to the matter my friend raised at the time about welfare. I agree there must be some provision for the weakest in our society, for the poorest of the poor. And I'm proud to announce to you that in the midst of the economic recession, that the Anambra State government delivered a welfare package.
We'll soon be sending you an invoice, Sidon. We'll soon be sending you an invoice.
Let me say something. Let me say something here.
Is it constitutionalized?
Apart from that,
excuse me, welfare system.
We deal with statistics. How many people?
Anambra State does not have a constitution. Yeah. Therefore, there is no question of it being constitutionalized.
Okay. So the question, the other question, when the current administration leaves, would it continue? Is it institutionalized?
If you are referring to institutions as a matter of tradition, my answer is yes. It will, because the party does have a soul. There are certain core principles.
I asked this
question. Suppose the party loses in the next elections.
In Anambra State, where you have to turn over 21.
No, suppose the party loses.
It's a possibility.
Can the welfare system continue?
That is something the French call ce n'est pas possible.
We asked, hello, Mr. Adinuba, it's about institutionalizing. We're talking about democracy.
No.
Institutionalizing democracy. Will it continue?
Excuse me. When FDR Roosevelt declared a New Deal in America, it was not in the Constitution. Please, welfare is not in the American Constitution. I want us to talk at the level of
FDR was the president.
Can we talk at the
We're talking about a state now.
Excuse me, at the level of consciousness. I'm not letting you know that in Anambra State, we had waivers for the poor, those who are paying taxes, those who are paying levies. We said, please, from this category to that category do not pay and have not paid.
But some other states also have it too.
Excuse me.
Cross River State also has it. Some
excuse me,
other
I've
states
not
have
finished.